What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Pitts, Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, coming to you live. Listen, it's going down, all things HBCUs. And who else better to start it off with them Bowie State Bulldogs? We coming to you, Bowie State Bulldogs, total access. We got the Morgan State Bears. Listen, all HBCUs information, all HBCU news, sporting events, updates. You get it live here with Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, Comcast Channel 77, Verizon Channel 11 is going down. Don't you miss a beat. Listen, it's only the beginning because it's early still. And we're gonna be here all day. All day. Good morning, and welcome. Yes, I am coming to you at 11 o'clock, which is unusual, but I have a very special guest. Today I have Ms. Dina Freeman Patton, the Athletic Director of Morgan State University. The National Treasure, Morgan State University. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Man, I'm so grateful that I'm able to get this moment with you. And before we jump into it, I got to do my little razzle-dazzle intro. We're looking at a historic moment for Morgan State University. In 2022, Dina Freeman Patton became the first woman to lead the National Treasure, Morgan State University Athletics, as the athletic director. I want to start with the significance of this moment. When you look at the women who paved the way, the women who inspired you, and the young women watching as you stepped into this position, what does this moment mean for you or mean to you?
Well, I'm going into my 5th year now in the role. So sometimes I don't really think about it. But when you make me sit and really sit in it and think about the significance, it still is an awesome opportunity to be in and to be a visible representation for young women, young girls who strive to be in this type of role. I was the first. I didn't know when I got the job. I was the first woman in 2022. You think about, okay, we're 2022 and now 2026, and it's still a topic. I would love for it not to be a topic, to be able to say, this is normal. This is something that's common. We have women athletics directors, and it's not a conversation, but it still is.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
So I look at it as an honor. I look at it as a responsibility as well. Obviously, I know a lot of things are resting on my shoulders in this role and being who I am. But I also see it as a blessing and an opportunity. There are only like 350 some Division I athletic directors, period, in the entire country. And I have the honor of sitting in the seat of one of them. Right?
Absolutely. And that's interesting that you knew that before you got it, you didn't know. When you found out, how did you feel? When you found out, what was that moment like for you, already getting the job, but then finding out the cherry on top?
Right. So exactly, that's exactly what it was, a cherry on top. For me, it was about being the most qualified person for the job, getting the job on my experience and my merit, but also acknowledging and realizing, I'm the first. It's always nice to be the first. You don't want the first to be, late, but
right.
It's always a nice feeling to be the first. Also in my hometown of Baltimore, coming back to Morgan State, my mother's alma mater, all of the things, right? And so it was a special honor, and to be able to hear it and celebrate it.
No, absolutely. And then I looked at there was an article that the MEAC did, because at that point there were 5.
Correct.
Women athletic directors, and to see that, as you said, right, it shouldn't be a topic, right? You would wish we were further ahead, but to see the significance of it, especially within the MEAC when you had 8 universities, institutions representing the MEAC, and 5 were led by women, was also a very historical moment, and hoping to see that that number continues to grow as well. When you first got to Morgan, like what was that? Did you have a task in 2022? You know, when you first got there, okay, these are the first things that I want to do. And then from now, looking back, were you able to accomplish all of those things you wanted to institute within the athletic program?
Well, I had a few tasks. As one is, I had to hire a football coach.
Yeah.
And that was before I even stepped foot on campus. And so, I had that. We also, and Coach Damon Wilson is who I hired, and I'm sure y'all are familiar from Bowie and all of his accomplishments. And,
Yes.
I hired him looking to build upon a program and to make sure that we have a sustainable, successful program here at Morgan. And as we know, that takes time. And I also had 2 other tasks to do that were already decided before I got here, and that's to start 2 new programs, and
Mm.
that's wrestling and acrobatics and tumbling.
Oh, wow.
So
Oh,
that's in
wait,
addition to
wait.
all the other just running an athletics department in general and trying to get your feet under you
Wow.
and figure out the lay of the land. I had to hire some coaches. I had to start some teams and everything that comes along with that. And people don't think about what comes with starting new programs.
Yeah.
We were successful in all of those things, I believe, and look forward to also moving our current programs forward. And we're still adding sports, like where other universities or departments may be even canceling programs, right? So
Mm.
we're still in the growth phase at
Yeah.
Morgan, and so there were a couple of those were already set. Um, and then I knew I had to get those accomplished. And then, once you get into a role, you do an assessment and you kind of figure out, okay, what other things do I need to improve or work on? One of those is our academic success area as far as APR scores and things like that, where we're now one of the highest in the conference and one of the highest in HBCU. So I'm really proud of that.
Yes, man, when you talk about furthering, not just preparing our young men and women on the field, but also preparing, and not only preparing, but graduating and graduating at a high rate is definitely something that Morgan has done consistently over the years under your leadership. But it's interesting. I did not know there wasn't a wrestling team prior. And because last year the wrestling team dominated. And then when you look at the acrobatics, I just saw that Sports Center reshared on one of the
Oh, the viral
videos.
thing.
Yes.
Which was awesome.
Yes, like, but so just starting with that, and not to say that, and I believe that, everyone in a position such as yours, don't take time to look at the things that you've done well, right? Because you just keep trying to stack. But the wrestling team success, the acrobatics, the basketball team, the football, first year had a progressed record better than the previous year, which is always a plus. Morgan has championship aspirations across all and the entire athletic department. What does the championship culture look like under your leadership?
It's a combination of things. It's everybody striving for champions, but not just champions on the field, the mat, the track, the court. Champions in life, right? So that was, and back to your question about, okay, what do you need to do first? You got to set the foundation, you got to set the culture, and make sure that everybody, as we expect you to be excellent in everything,
Yes.
right? Not just your sport, but that's a part of the experience. We want to win championships, no doubt. We want to win our athletics championships, no doubt. But we also want you to experience all the things in life. We want you to be able to go to Africa like our volleyball team did this summer. and compete and experience another culture, and to go to the U.S. ambassador's house and learn about um, uh, being a foreign diplomat and things like that. Being able to, for example, I'll use Eric Hunter, and just because he's now been announced as the MEAC male student athlete of the year from this past year, who is now in the NFL. He started at Morgan as a freshman. He graduated, walked across that stage in the spring with his degree, participated in student organizations, pledged, did all the things, and is pursuing his dreams. So that is really the embodiment, right, of what we want our student athletes to be. Not just one-sided. We want them to be prepared for their next steps in this world.
And, you know, it's funny. I'm glad you said all that, because you actually went into my next question, which was, you know, what does success look like for More Than Athletics beyond the number of trophies in a case? And I think you said it extremely well, because not only that, you know, even when you look at the band got to travel to participate in the Rose Bowl, right, last year. And all the different things that the accolades that come from the accomplishments as well on the field, but off the field. And again, shout out to Eric Hunter, Flyboy EJ, for the success that he's had, and, you know, the continued success that we wish for him. I didn't think the trip to Africa, I'm definitely interested to hear about that experience, because, you know, that's one of a kind of a trip and an experience to make. And for Morgan to be selected, or to be selected or approached to be a part of it, had to be a major accomplishment for the entire university.
Yeah, and it's something that Dr. Wilson, our president, supports as well. As you know, the choir travels all over the world, the band travels, and also our student athletes. And he's been a big support of that. We initially were supposed to send a few girls, a few of our young ladies, to Africa, to Botswana. It's called the Ditsala Invitational or International Tour. And because Dr. Wilson believed in this, he was able to give us a little bit more funds. And so we ended up fielding our own team instead of just being a part of an all-star team. We were able to field our own team of young ladies in Botswana, Africa. And, you know, we were there for 2 weeks. We went to safaris. Like I said, we went to the U.S. ambassador's house. We did community service out there, clinics for the schools. It was and then we went out there and won the tournament. So, you know, it was a great experience. And in this day and age of NIL, revenue share, and things like that, where we may not have all of the funds to give to student athletes, we have the opportunity to give these experiences.
Absolutely.
And to be able to also do things for all of our sports.
Absolutely. And listen, you guys, so all the previous guests, I promise you, I did not give Dina Freeman Patton the script. I did not provide her with the questions, but it seems like every answer leads to the next question. And it's so flawless and seamless, and I'm appreciative, because the next business that I wanted to talk with you was the NIL, how NIL has changed the landscape in college football across the nation, right? And as you said, we're able to still give you the experiences that others are able to achieve, but Morgan still is able to give those experiences as well. And the question I wanted to ask you was, is it difficult trying to position and compete in this new era?
It's difficult, but it's not impossible, right?
Absolutely.
And so I look at it as an opportunity as well. Yes, when the goal line changes and moves every time you get to it, that can be difficult. but for when everything shifted and opened up, it gave us an opportunity, if we're able to raise the money, do the things that we need to do in order to provide those opportunities. So we do have more opportunities now at the FCS than at the HBCU space, because the rules are different, meaning they've opened up.
Okay.
You know, I'll use football as an example, where in FCS we're limited to we were limited to 63 scholarships
Okay.
across the board, whereas the FBS level had 85.
Right.
Right. There's no limit on scholarships now.
Wow.
Right, for both levels, meaning up to the roster. There's a limit on roster sizes. Like, so
Right.
you can only have 105 on your roster at the FBS level. But guess what? At our level, still 105. Right.
Same playing field.
We had the funding. We could give the entire 105 scholarships,
Right.
which is also opportunities for young people at HBCUs to be able to get their education funded. So there's some opportunities here. Yes, there's some challenges, but we're working to try to take advantage of those opportunities as much as possible. We are providing some revenue share, some Alston, what they call Alston Awards, across the board, and we're offering what we can. And we're still, our coaches are very talented and creative, and are navigating this space very well, I would say. And so I still look forward to us being competitive in this space. And as the AD, my job is to, try to navigate and figure it out, help them with that process, and figuring it out from a financial side.
And you've done an amazing job as far, Mr. Pat. And then, with the NILs, has it with it opening up as much as it has? Does that now allow more corporate partnerships, sponsorships, alumni engagement, fundraising to be played to assist?
Oh yeah, yes. Like I said, it's opportunities.
Okay.
It's all types of opportunities. There are opportunities for sponsorships, jersey patches, any corporation or individual has an opportunity to, participate and support HBCUs.
Yes.
Right now to a level that probably wasn't possible before. And
Absolutely.
so I would encourage anybody who's thinking about sport, like, if you can think about it and dream about it, you probably can do it.
Absolutely. The next business I wanted to talk about was the national exposure to HBCU athletics as a whole. I had the opportunity, I did see you down at the HBCU Legacy Bowl in New Orleans, and that platform, provides top players an opportunity to perform once again, but also to perform in front of NFL scouts, GMs, and personnel. Can you talk about the importance that those moments have for the exposure for our children to be able, like Eric Hunter and Elijah Williams, to have the opportunities to fulfill their childhood dreams to playing within, whether it's the NFL, the WNBA, or the NBA, or thus far?
I think exposure is the most important thing at this point for our young people, and that's exposure to scouts. That's media exposure. That's television exposure. It's getting your name out. We know we have the talent. It's just a matter of making sure that they are able to compete on the national stage and get that exposure. I enjoyed being at the Legacy Bowl and some of the other events. Even the FCS playoffs had a combine there that Eric participated in.
Yeah.
And so there are a number of opportunities, and we'll continue to get exposure for our young people, especially through media.
Yeah.
And even in the MEAC right now, we're launching our MEAC TV this year. And so there'll be an opportunity for folks to see our students to compete and not have to, and that's money too, right? The media rights for HBCUs.
Yeah.
So we're looking at a lot of those opportunities for our students. And I mean, it's even being talked about in politics, right?
Yeah.
In legislation, they're talking about assisting HBCUs with the opportunities to be able to put them on a national stage from a media standpoint.
And when you talk about that, and shout out to the MEAC for launching the MEAC TV, and under the leadership, of course, again, another woman, Miss Science Stills. Just when you talk about being able to be in this moment and see the growth, and not only see it, but to be a part of, join in, and also give. How does that feel? Knowing that you're not only helping the university, but you're helping the brand move forward, more, bigger, better than what it was in the past from what they were limited to.
So yes, I want Morgan to compete, and I want them to beat every HBCU in the country, right? But from an HBCU standpoint, I am also a champion of our institutions in general.
Yes.
And I've been so even before working at an HBCU. That's where my money went.
Yes.
And so for me, I try to be a voice within the MEAC, outside of the MEAC, within our industry, and to represent us appropriately. I'm also on the FCS Oversight Committee for the NCAA, and I represent the MEAC there. And so I try to be a voice for all HBCUs, and it's exciting to see. I grew up in the space, even though I didn't attend an HBCU. I grew up in the space, and so for me to see the opportunities that are given to our young people through HBCUs, and to be able to help with all the things that are going on and the opportunities that we have now, I enjoy it.
Absolutely. And the Cricket Wireless, the SWAC MEAC game, Morgan will be planning it next year in Atlanta. How exciting is that moment again when you talk about the national exposure that it not only provides on HBCUs, but also directly to Morgan State?
I mean, we get the opportunity to kick off the football season in Atlanta, right? And hopefully close the football season in Atlanta. Right? but that's as things are changing, we'll have to reevaluate the timing. But we play week 0. We have the opportunity to play week 0 in Atlanta, play HBCUs on national television, and one thing that the data shows is that everyone watches. So the data from the MEAC SWAC and the Celebration Bowl is not just Black people or a certain demographic that are watching HBCU football. It's football fans. Absolutely. It's everyone. And so when we have an opportunity to compete on that stage, on the national stages, it's great for us, great for our brand. And we have a brand, and we just got to take advantage of it.
Leslie, if I could ask you, if you was able to describe what Morgan State means to you in one word, what would it be?
Legacy.
Powerful. Thank you very much, Ms. Dina Freeman-Patton. And I appreciate you joining me today. I enjoy the sidelines, the waves, and Towson. I enjoy it all. And I thank you honestly and humbly for taking this opportunity in this moment to give me your time and to speak with you, and just to also share, your thoughts, your visions, the things that you've done, and the work that still has to be done within Morgan State and as an HBCU as a whole. I am grateful for your time, and thank you very much, and best of luck this year.
Thanks so much, Terrence.
Listen, you guys, you already know what it is. It's your boy Pitts Sports Zone, Bowie TV, coming to you once again. Get at me later. Enjoy the rest of y'all Thursday.